Hello everybody, hope you're all well. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back today with a hacks video for you, and today's video is going to be all about travel hacks. If you've watched any of my vlogs, you'll know that I go traveling quite a bit, and along the way I've picked up a few little tips and tricks of things that I pack or things that I do when I'm traveling that I think would be able to help you out as well, and all of these are on a budget. So great if you're doing some budget travel, but just handy anyway regardless. Maybe you've got a holiday coming up soon and hopefully some of these will be useful to you. So before we get into the video, if you're new here, don't forget to click subscribe. I'm posting new videos every single week, and if you enjoy these travel hacks and would like to see more hacks on this channel, then do give this video a little thumbs up. Okay, I'm going to get straight into it because I've got quite a few to get through, and I'm actually shooting this before I go off to do some work today, so I've got half an hour. I had to wait for the sun to come up in order to shoot this because obviously I'm not at home, I'm shooting this in a hotel room. I thought it'd be appropriate to shoot some travel related content while I'm on my travels. So I'm just gonna get straight into it. The first thing that I recommend that you pack, if you don't already, is a pillowcase. These are great to take on the flight with you because you can actually stuff your coat inside one of these and make a little pillow. It's far more comfortable than the inflatable pillows that you get. And you can spray some of your favourite pillow spray on it if you use such a thing. I now swear by pillow spray when I travel, or I'll get onto that a bit later, but yeah, it really helps. It's really comforting just to be able to snuggle your head down on an actual pillowcase that you've been able to launder at home, and it will smell really good. And yeah, you can just pop your jumper in there or a coat that you'll have with you anyway when you're on the aeroplane and use it to have a little nap. And then if you get to the hotel and you don't like the pillowcase that's there, you can always use it at the hotel as well. Maybe don't take a white one because you're more likely to leave that one behind. So if you've got any patterned pillowcases, that's the best kind to take with you because a white one will look like the hotel pillowcases, so you may well forget it. Another thing that you can then do with a pillowcase is use it to put all of your dirty laundry in, so that you can then sling that into your suitcase, and when you get home that just goes straight up to the, I was going to say the bathroom because that's where I have my washing machine, but I should say go straight to the washing machine because most people have their washing machine in their kitchen, don't they, or in their utility room. But yes, you can just take your dirty laundry straight out of the suitcase and into the washing machine. So yeah, that's number one, pillowcase. Okay, number two is these. You've seen these before if you've watched any of my hauls. I picked these up in Poundland and also Home Bargains. They also sell them in Lidl and Aldi. These are alternative versions to Barocca, and I just recommend packing these because it is good to keep your vitamins up when you're on your travels. Obviously we're surrounded by lots of germs when we're on aeroplanes, and we're probably doing a little bit more than we would be normally at home day to day when we're on our travels as well. So very important to get your vitamins, and these are just really good because they're handy to pack and they also make up a nice drink. So obviously you just add these to water and it just makes a nice drink. And the reason I'm including these as it's budget hacks, these are a lot cheaper than Barocca, as I've said before, but just wanted to include those because they always come on my travels with me. While we're on the subject of picking up things from the chemist, it's well worth looking in some of the bargain stores before you go to the airport. Picking things up in Boots when you're at the airport often is much more expensive than picking them up in one of the budget stores or in your local supermarket. A couple of items that I swear by when I'm traveling. So this one is Boots Recovery. I did actually pick this one up in Boots, but it's their own brand, so it's quite a lot cheaper. And yeah, this one is great. Effervescent, I think I'm saying that correctly, powder, and it contains paracetamol, and it also has the stomach settling thing going on. So what's this like? Is it like one of the salts that you can buy? I'm not sure, but it's really good. Another one that I really recommend taking on your travels, and this is a great one to take if you're going to a hot country, and this is these rehydration sachets. So these come from Boots as well. I've looked around for these in some of the bargain stores and I can't find them anywhere else. So these are the cheapest ones that I can find, and they're a rehydration treatment. I guess they're the same as Diarrhelite, but a little bit cheaper. Basically, they restore natural salt and fluid balance, and these are a great thing to have a little sip of before you go to bed if you have overdone it on a night out on your holiday. Or if you found that you've just been out and about on a really hot day, maybe you've been hiking or doing some extra physical activity and you just got dehydrated, there's nothing worse. So get one of those into you and you'll be feeling a whole lot better. The bargain stores and pound shops are a great place to pick up some of your sun protection. Don't forget to look on the back to look for the UVA and UVB star rating. There is stars that you can see on the back. Let me just show you on this one. So you can see the stars down there, and those will let you know that it is a good quality sun protection. These ones are travel size, they're £1 each and they are 100ml, so really handy as well if you're going without a check-in suitcase, which obviously is a great little travel hack if you are going on a short break and want to save yourself some cash. If you're going with a budget airline, obviously it's much cheaper not to check in a suitcase, so do look ahead at that. And if you do want to put a suitcase in, always do it ahead of time before you go to the airport, because it will work out a lot cheaper for you. And there's nothing worse than Ryanair getting their hands on our hard-earned cash, is there? Let's face it. So if you are wanting to put a little suitcase in, make sure you do that ahead of time before you go to the airport. I also picked up this one in Poundland. You've seen this recently in a haul if you watched it. This is the Garnier Moisture Bomb Factor SPF 30 that just sprays over the face. It just goes on like a mist. And they also had some Malibu Factor 50 face cream. So they've got good factors in store and they're all £1 each. They're going to save you a lot of money getting them from there rather than getting them in somewhere like Boots at the airport. Some other places that do really good offers on sunscreen are Wilko's. Superdrug have really good ones. Their own brand is excellent, tried and tested, and I can highly recommend that one. And also Savers as well generally have quite good deals on larger containers of sun protection if you're going away as a family or a group and you want some bigger bottles. Poundland also do a Factor 50 face cream, which is really good value, and I've tried this one out and it's alright. It's a little bit on the oily side, but many of them are anyway, and this one also says it's anti-aging, which is always a bonus. Microfiber cloths you can pick up in most bargain stores, and if you get a slightly bigger size, this one I actually got from the car section, but they're all the same. They'll often sell them in the cleaning department, and previously these have been sold as travel towels, so you can actually buy microfiber cloths as a travel towel, and the reason being is obviously they pack up very, very small, but they're super absorbent. So if you were stuck in a situation where you needed to take a shower and you didn't have a towel with you, or maybe the towel hire is quite expensive, one of these will get you fully dried, no bother, and it will also then dry out really quickly afterwards as well. So this is a great one if you're backpacking, or just have one of these in your suitcase. Maybe if you're heading to a water park where the towel hire is extortionate and all you want to do is just dry yourself off quickly. Maybe you're going down to a beach and you just want something in your day bag. These are really handy. And yeah, if you can't find it in the travel section, do just look in the cleaning section or the car section, and essentially it's exactly the same thing. Packing your own food can save you loads of money when you're traveling. Obviously it's great to try local cuisines and go out to eat while you're away, but sometimes you're just in a situation where you're either stuck in a hotel in the middle of nowhere, or maybe you just have arrived somewhere late at night because you've taken a really cheap flight and you get there at 3 in the morning and you don't want to necessarily order a takeout, but you just want something just to keep you going, just to get you by until maybe the following day. So one thing that's great to pack is some pot noodles, essentially, because all you need for these is hot water. You can always eat these at the airport and you can get them through security as well. So you could always just go and ask for some hot water in a coffee shop somewhere, and they'll probably give you some hot water in a travel flask, and you can just top one of these up and you've got a meal essentially. And I always pack protein bars with me. I generally pick these up in Poundland as well, just because they're a little bit cheaper in there, and I just find that they're a really good snack to have on the go when I'm traveling. They give me a little bit more energy, and yeah, they're just really handy because obviously you can just throw one of those into a day bag. If you're out sightseeing for the day and you don't necessarily want to stop to go for a sit-down meal, but you just want something to keep you going, they're really handy to pack. Lavender oil is something that I always take with me. It's really handy because obviously it's in a very small container, so it's not going to take up much space in your packing, and it's got loads of different uses. One of the main things about this is it's obviously very relaxing, so you can take it onto the flight with you and just put a few drops into a tissue or handkerchief or onto your scarf, and it will just make you feel a whole lot more relaxed while you're on the flight. If you've packed your own pillowcase, you can add a few drops to that as well. It's really good if you're trying to get to sleep. Often you might be traveling to a different time zone or be in an unfamiliar hotel, so a few drops on your pillow can be really good. And you can also add a few drops into a bath and then have a really nice relaxing bath as well, and you're not having to pack large bath products for that as well. So really handy. This one is from Neil's Yard, but of course you can pick these up in places like Wilko's or Poundland for a couple of pounds. Talking of getting a good night's sleep, I recommend that you bring earplugs with you, and these again are something that you can pick up in the bargain stores. I found these silicone ones in Poundland, and these are really good because these will actually mold into your ears, so you can really seal off the noise. So these are great if you're in a noisy hotel. It can always happen. It's not necessarily where the hotel's situated. It can all come down to who is in the room next door to you, and let's face it, there's nothing worse than not being able to sleep when you want to sleep. So always pack some earplugs. Also really good for being on the aeroplane when there's some annoying noisy people near to you, or maybe there's a baby that's crying or something like that. So yeah, these are also good for swimming as well. So if you're planning on doing any swimming and you don't want any water getting into your ears, they can be used for that as well. If you're going away for a little while, or you just want to pack a little bit lighter, maybe you are just doing the whole hand luggage only thing, you can buy travel wash, where you can hand wash your clothes in travel sized containers. You could also decant some liquid laundry gel into a small travel sized container and take that with you as well. But obviously if you're in a hotel and they do have laundry services, they're going to be quite expensive, so you can just throw everything into the bath. Many hotels will actually have a little washing line above the bath. Sometimes it's not that obvious, but it will usually be on like a little pulley cord on like a round thing that you pull across, and you can hang everything up to dry on that. Often if you're traveling as well, you'll be in a hot country, so it's easy to get your clothes dry, and it just means that you can pack a little bit less. Or even better, you can do your washing before you get home and not have to worry about doing that when you get back from your trip, which I never do, but I always intend to. I picked up this container in Poundland. This is actually from the craft section, but I thought this would be really good for travel, so I wanted to share this with you. It's got compartments inside it big enough to fit glasses and sunglasses, and because it's solid, I like the idea of being able to pack this and things not getting squashed inside your case in it. So I've got some sunglasses here, and yes, you get an idea of the sizing of that. And then here you've got all these different compartments, which would be great for organising jewellery and things like tablets. You could put vitamins into there, anything that you might need on your travels. But I just wanted to share that one with you. And talking of the sunglasses, another hack that I've got, it's not really a hack, it's just a tip I guess, is to take a cheap pair of sunglasses with you. If you've got designer ones or expensive ones, being on holiday, I think you're just more likely to lose them or break them because you're obviously in unfamiliar surroundings. You're going out to different coffee shops and bars. You might be going out doing some excursions or some exciting activities which might be more physical, and there's every chance you're either going to leave them on the seat of a taxi, or you're going to leave them on the table somewhere, or they might just get damaged or broken. Maybe if you're just heading out and you don't think it's suitable for your most expensive stuff, then you can get sunglasses for as cheap as £1. These are from Poundland. Yeah, you may as well just take a cheap pair with you, and then you don't have to worry about them getting damaged. And also, if you're using loads of sunscreen and stuff, it always ends up getting smeared all over them, doesn't it? So sometimes it's just nice to save your best ones for best, maybe for the evenings, and then just have something to kick about in during the day. We already touched on these, but you can buy these sets of travel containers. I don't have the full set with me, but usually you get 5. You get like bottles and maybe a spray container as well. These you can pick up in places like Primark, do really good ones, also in Poundland. And yeah, they're just a slightly more cheaper alternative to places like Muji that also sell them. But the great thing about these is, of course, you can put your favorite products into them, so you're not having to buy the travel sizes at the airport, which work out obviously quite expensive for the amount that they are. Although I do actually love buying them, because I think it's quite a good way to try out different products. But yeah, if you're on a budget and you want to save some money, use the travel size ones, or of course just reuse small bottles that you already have and just refill them. If you watch my videos, you'll know that I'm a big fan of a travel mug and also a travel water bottle. I don't have my travel water bottle here, but I always take this with me. This can save you loads of money at the airport. If you have access to the lounge, you could make yourself a drink in here and take it with you. You can also take your own tea bags with you. you and just ask for some hot water to go into this. Most coffee shops in the UK, I'm not sure what it's like worldwide, but will actually give you a discount on your hot drink if you take your own travel container. And if you're staying in a hotel and you've got tea or coffee making facilities in your hotel room or at the breakfast area, you can always fill this up, and I'm sure they won't mind if you do a little takeaway coffee with you for your day of whatever you're getting up to. Adapter plugs are much cheaper in the bargain stores than they are at the airport. The cheapest ones I could find at the airport on this trip were £5.50 from Boots, and these you can pick up for £1. And I think actually in supermarkets they're even cheaper. Places like Asda, I think they're looking at more like the 80p mark. So well worth stocking up on them if you are going to a supermarket before you travel. And also think about getting some kind of travel adapter. Often in hotel rooms, I find there's never a plug socket right by the bed, which is kind of where you want to charge your phone. I know we're not meant to go on our phones when we're in bed, but let's face it, most of us do. And if you've got one with a bit of a lengthy flex on it, you can put this in a plug somewhere else in the room and get this over closer to the bed. The great thing about this one is if you're traveling with a friend or a partner, or you're just using this at the airport and someone else wants to charge, you've got some additional sockets on here. So you've got 3, and you've also got the 2 USBs. So if you are using a plug in a public area and someone else wants to charge, rather than feeling the pressure of having to sort of hurry up, you can offer them your USB and all will be good to go. Although this happened to me recently when I was with Catherine from Dainty Diaries, and we were in a pub and a lady asked to use my double adapter. And for some reason, when she plugged her phone into it, there was a loud bang, and yeah, I thought we were going to get electrocuted, and my adapter didn't work after that, so that was disappointing. But, you know, we'll put that behind us and still be sharing is caring. Another thing you can pick up in Poundland is one of these. These are great if you're on your travels as well. The amount of times I've been in a taxi and not had any phone battery, or it's going quite low, and of course it's very important when you're traveling to be able to keep your phone topped up. So this you can just pop into the cigarette lighter section of a car, and you've got your USB charging point in there. So very handy when you're on your travels, so you can say to the taxi driver, do you mind if I just pop my phone on charge? I'm always that annoying person. If you're doing some solo travel, you could take with you one of these, or if you're doing a bit of vlogging, you can vlog on your phone using one of these. These are also from Poundland, and it's essentially just this little tripod with the bendy legs on it, and yeah, your phone can go into there. But a great one if you're traveling solo and you want to take some pictures of yourself, maybe with the scenery, but you don't have anyone to hand to take a picture, or you don't want to ask that tourist who may well get it a bit wrong. Have you ever been in that situation where you've asked a tourist to take your photograph, and then you look at the photograph afterwards and there's like a thumb over half the photo, and they go, is it okay? And you go, yeah. Another thing you can use, of course, is the good old-fashioned selfie stick. I feel like these are underrated. People don't use them so much anymore, but you know, if you are somewhere that you want to take some photographs of yourself and your travels, these can be really handy. And again, this is something that you can pick up in a pound shop. Another thing that I found in Poundland is this USB fan device. So this actually plugs into your laptop, but you could also add it to the USB point on one of those plugs. And yeah, it's just a tiny little fan. If you've got no breeze coming through your room and you need some, then that can be really handy, and for £1 it's a really handy little thing to take with you. In Primark for £5 I found this organiser. I think it's a good idea to keep your passport and travel documents all in one place, and this one is designed exactly for that. This was £5 and it's got a section here to keep your passport, and then you've got some additional zippable parts here as well to keep your currency in, and a little fob here to keep your keys on, which again is quite handy because once you're on your travels, your house keys are kind of redundant, so they need to go somewhere that you remember, so you can get them out when you get back after a long, exhausting trip back from wherever you've been traveling to. And often house keys, it's just the worst thing when you've been traveling and traveling and traveling, and then you just get to your front door and you're like, ah, where's my house keys? So I quite like the fact that there's that little bit in there, so if you think everything goes into this, this can then go into the safe in the hotel room with your passport in it, and you know where all those essentials are, all in one place. That was £5 from Primark. This is a slightly random one, but I always take tissues with me when I'm traveling. This packet has been opened, but this had 10, did it? Or 8 in it for £1.30, whereas a single packet of tissues is 50p. So if you are someone who uses a lot of tissues, buy them in your multi-pack. One item of clothing that I highly recommend you get if you are traveling is a good solid hoodie. This one I think I picked up for literally, I think it was €5, and I picked this one up in one of my vlogs actually. It's from Clockhouse. Who remembers that from C&A? Yeah, old school, but in Germany that still exists as a brand. And this one just comes with me because it's really handy on the aeroplane, because you can put the hood over your eyes and pull it right over you, and you can get the air conditioning off your face if you wear a hoodie. It's just a great layering piece of clothing. It's really comfy, you can zip it off, so if you're in an aeroplane seat, you're not trying to do this and elbow the people next to you trying to get it off, or if you suddenly get in a hot sweat, which I'm quite prone to, then it's just an unzip situation and you can wriggle it off down your back. It's also really good to stuff in the pillowcase that I was telling you about, and because it's so cheap, it's not a big deal if you leave it behind somewhere, because often with layering items of clothing, they are the sort of things that you can end up leaving somewhere and forgetting about because you've peeled off that layer and then just not thought about it. So if you go for a slightly cheaper one, it's not the end of the world if you do leave it behind somewhere. And the last thing I've got to show you is this fragile tape. So this is a great thing to stick on your suitcase. So you can stick a length of this across your suitcase, and fingers crossed the baggage handling people will be that little bit kinder to it, which is always essential if you've picked up some lovely souvenirs. Pop a bit of that onto your suitcase, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it will just get handled that little bit more carefully. So that's all of my travel hacks for today. I'm sure I've got loads more, as I said, so if I think up another load of them, I'll do another of these videos. If you enjoyed it, let me know what your budget travel hacks are in the comments down below. Maybe I could do one of these for specifically being at the airport or specifically being in a hotel room. If any of those are of interest to you, do let me know and I'll aim to film those for you in the coming weeks. So I hope these have been useful to you and have given you some ideas if you're going anywhere soon. Oh, let me know if you've got any travel planned as well. Have you got any trips coming up? I'd love to hear where you're off to if you have got any trips planned. If you're new here, don't forget to click subscribe. I'm posting new videos every single week, and if you enjoyed this, do give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye. 7:30 and we're shooting a video a bit far away, I think. I'll do. Sweating like a pig. I'm filming this in South Africa. In case you're wondering why the backdrop's different, I'm in a hotel room. And you're on the most heavy metal table. I don't have a tripod with me. How's that?